You've been talking about these last two games being more tune-up. What are you hoping to see from the top group tonight?
Just being a little more ready for next week, right? That's what we're all working for, so that we're as close as possible to being at the top of our game next week. I don't think anybody will be at the top of their game on game one of the regular season, but you've got to get closer to certain areas, and to me that's the battle areas of the game that you're not thinking about and working on maybe in the middle of summer, that you just got to get your brain wrapped around. The competitive slot battle, board battles, getting clean on the walls, those little touches in traffic. Every game you play, you should get a little bit more used to that, because that's what you're going to see during the season. So we're going to make some nice plays tonight. I know that, so will they. But at the end of the day, I'd like to see the kind of hardened hockey get closer to what it's going to look like next week, because that's what's going to win games for us early in the year, and see where we're at.
Zahn was out there today. Expect him to play tonight or Friday, and same for
he's not going to play tonight. We're hoping for Friday. I can't tell you, but he's been on the ice with us for 2 days, so it's trending well. And Pavel, no, he won't play either.
For you and your staff, how does the focus narrow, specifically tonight, the game within the game with your players?
Well, there's some lines that we're going to look closer at. Carly, Smitty, and Stoney will be out there together. They've been practicing together, so. And then a couple other guys will move around. Game within the game, maybe a little the power play. Some of the guys will have practiced together a little bit, see how they look, how that chemistry goes. I'm not too worried about that. I think we had a really strong unit last year. We're adding Mitch to that mix, see where the fit is. So that'll take a little bit of time, but I think they're all good players. So, that part of it. And as I said, getting used to competing hard, and then getting to the inside, and then taking care of your net front, right? Those are things that you got to get, again, mentally. It's not physical, that part of it. It's just mentally getting back into that mode where tying up hands, establishing body position, all the little things that help you prevent goals and then score goals at the other end.
I wanted to ask you about a few individuals who are looking to separate themselves. Cole Schwint, Cole Reinhardt, Raphael Lavoie. What have you seen from each of those guys so far? And if we see them again this preseason, what would they need to do to really stick out to you?
Yeah, they're all in tonight. I think they got to play to their strengths, Ashley, first and foremost. Schwinn and Reinhardt are forecheck type of guys and be 200-foot players. Impact the game probably through the forecheck more than the line rush game. I shouldn't say that about Reinhardt yet. We're still getting to know him, but that's a little bit of their DNA, those guys, and trust, play the game the right way so that you can be out there against anybody. We've always used our fourth line, and those are those type of players when they're at their best, so we can get better matchups with the other lines. Lavoie, he came here as more of an offensive guy. He's still searching for that identity, but until you find it, then be a productive guy in the lineup. I think he sees a little more power play time and maybe ozone shifts, but at the end of the day, you got to be in the lineup before you can score goals. So it's a little bit of the same for him. He has been a good forechecker for us. Took some pucks to the net in San Jose his last game. Hopefully he can build off that. He's a big body. That's an area of the game we want to see improve as a group. So he's certainly capable of that. So that'd be another area that would keep an eye on him.
Your teams have had good starts since you got to Vegas, and I think in the past you've kind of pointed to having good camps. As a result of that, has this been a good camp so far, and have you gotten as much done as you would have wanted to this point?
Well, I think we've hit a lot of the boxes we wanted to check, Gary, in terms of how we want to play. We've even gotten into the 5-on-6, 6-on-5, 4-on-4, because it was harder to get our group, it hasn't been easy to get our group together under, but we did have a practice there. I think it was right before they went to We were able to get the group out, work on a few of those things so that there's no surprises next week. And again, touching on it once isn't going to completely make it perfect, but at least it's in, their mind. So I think the part of camp where we've tried to identify every area and have an idea, at least what we're thinking, how we want to play, has been good. How's the camp gone? Let's look at these two games, right? Because now you're getting more of the Vegas Golden Knights. It's We've used a lot of young guys early on. Some of that's been back-to-back, too. Some of it is just the way the schedule's been. We're anticipating using much more of our lineup tonight and Friday. So let's see how many steps we've taken, with the main group in terms of winning and losing games. And I don't think you can evaluate your camp just by that, but there does become a time where you want to see your group play well, especially when it's your full group. And we're getting, as I said, close to that tonight and Friday, so let's see that part of the game. But some of that start is health, and I think, we're a lot of years we've had a few injuries in camp. We've overcome some. Some guys have been ready to go by day one. So I think this year we've talked about those guys a little bit earlier. Some have been in and out. Hopefully they're ready to go. That's another area you want to be as clean as possible. We'll see how that shakes out the next few games.
Are you a training camp guy, or is it a necessary evil? And are you kind of really itching to get to next week and start the season?
What would be a training camp? Like, you mean I come here every day and doing cartwheels?
Yeah, sure.
Never was much of a gymnast, so I'll be honest. I like training camp because I'm a teacher by nature, so I like being around the young guys. There just comes a time you want your own team, and we're at that point, I think, where we haven't added a lot of new pieces, but there are some. We want to see how they fit, and you got to get to your team eventually. But I like the start of camp. I mean, I'm on the ice. I think there's 6 sessions the first 3 days trying to get everyone, hey, here's how we're playing. Try to touch base with every player in the organization, at least say hello. So that part of it I enjoy. That's a bit of my roots from the American Hockey League. But there does come a time, I think it gets long, and we had the break. The guys went to Montana, so that was good to maybe get away. But now it's to the point where let's see where we're at as the Vegas Golden Knights, and less, the whole organization. We're narrowing our focus now, so I don't know if that answers your question, but there was a time way back when it was, Elliot would know, there was 5 weeks you're going to camp. You're on the ice twice a day and you're playing 12 exhibition games. That you had to be a training camp junkie to like that. it was forever. Now I kind of like the fact the guys show up in pretty good shape. They're here a little bit early. They skate, so it's a much lesser sort of grind than it used to be, and it's going to be even less next year. So the real training camp junkies next year are going to be in for a surprise, because it's going to be over in a hurry.
It's easy to look at the offensive side and know what's going right and wrong, but how do you evaluate the other side of the puck? And do you like it when the other team has more players, higher level players to...
So what side of the puck? I missed the first
part. On the
part.
Defensive side. How do you evaluate the defensive side of the preseason?
Well, tonight it looks like they're going to have a strong lineup, so that's good. I think that's good, and I hope for the same Friday, because we're trying to get ourselves ready for next Wednesday, so that the higher level of competition you're playing, the better off you're going to be. Especially with our guys, they don't lack confidence. They're not a young group that needs to win a game by 4 goals. They need to be pushed right now, I think, because they haven't played a lot of games. So that's the good part of training camp right now that I'm looking forward to. Our group getting pushed here, hopefully in the next 2 games, and see how we respond, see how close we are.
Shea, with it being October 1st, just curious if you can describe what this city has come to mean to you since you came to Vegas.
Yeah, it kind of means everything. It was, a tragedy that, we all wish never happened, but, at the end of the day, it's something that brought everyone together, and, it's crazy how much time has passed.
These last couple games before things get real, how different are they than, I guess, earlier on in camp?
Yeah, I think obviously we're going to have more of our team, kind of the regular guys in the lineup, and, really trying to shake off again some of that rust. Like, a couple of us have only played 1 game, so, just really another building block, to get the regular season going. And, obviously there's little things here and there, timing and, systems-wise, but, it's all about trying to get your game in order.
How much are you relying on these 2 games to be at where you want to be, the home opener, or are you at the point where you're just itching for it to kind of get here?
Obviously, the home opener, is exciting for sure, but, these are important games for getting all the guys back together and, trying to get on the same page and playing the right way. And, I think we've done it, pretty well in the past of, having good starts to the year. So, we take a lot of pride in these last 2 games and just playing the right way and getting ready.
Not only do you have a lot of your groups together, but expecting a pretty veteran lineup out of Colorado as well. How far does that go in terms of preparation for you feeling ready for next week?
Yeah, I think that's what you want. You want to play with, against the best players, and they got a good team over there. So, it's just like I said, just another building block. Really trying to get your game in order. Get, whether it's figuring out lines or who's playing with each other, or the matchups that we want. But another game that we're looking forward to, and just another step before the regular season.
It's just with it being October 1st, if you could just, how would you sum up the bond that you and this team have built with this city over the last several years?
Yeah, it was obviously tough start. Just how it happened, and then, but I think how the organization kind of went out and supported everything. I think that kind of brought us all together, and we gave people something to rally around, and I think the organization keeps doing a good job of remembering each year. So yeah.
I know fans are pretty vocal anytime they have a chance to chat with you guys, especially the fans who are local to Vegas, about how this team brought the city together. Mm-hmm. How would you sum up what it means to you when you hear those stories from them?
Well, I agree. I did really think that that we did bring the city together. Like I said, like something to rally around, and it makes me happy and proud, and how everyone kind of responded to that.
Well, what are you looking to accomplish these next couple games, week away from the home opener?
Yeah, just get the pace in, and get the chemistry going and all that, and get the instincts back, and and then get ready for what is a Wednesday next week.
Are we at a point where you're itching for the games to get going, or are you one of those that really kind of relies on these last two to get that pace, to get that timing?
I mean, I feel like I'd be ready if we started now, and I'd be ready to go. But it'll be good to get these 2 games in and really be prepared.